All right, I'm gonna be real with you. I am a huge Sonic fan. I'm not out there creating my own original characters. I haven't played every single game under the sun, but I love Sonic. I used to listen to the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack with my best friend Zach growing up when we were at bowling. In between frames, we would listen to this on my little portable CD player and pop on the headphones, and it would get us psyched up. It was crazy. But this is not a review of Sonic the Hedgehog. I literally just got out of the movie, and I felt like I had to talk about it. I wanted to tell you how I felt, and I know we're a Nintendo channel, but we cover Sonic. Sega doesn't have a system anymore, so it's fine. They publish games on Nintendo systems all the time, even exclusives, so it doesn't matter. All right, Navi wants to come hang out. Navi didn't see the movie, but she'll listen. All of my opinions, everything about this movie, I'm very much biased to this. So if you feel the same way I do about Sonic, I think you're going to feel the same way about the movie that I did. So you should be warned, I am going to be talking about some spoilers. We're going to get into some pretty crazy heavy spoilers at the end of this video, just very briefly. But the beef of the video, I won't be talking about spoilers very much. I absolutely loved this movie. I don't think there's anything in recent years that's made me feel more like a kid in the theater as much as this movie did. I've never really been like a huge comic book guy, so comic book movies never did it for me. I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles growing up, and Transformers were never my thing. Power Rangers I loved, but the movie didn't do the same thing for me as this one did. There were just so many moments that made me smile just because I think I've been with Sonic for so long that it was nice to see him on the silver screen, and done so well. I'd say in Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, there's a lot to love if you're a casual fan or if you're a hardcore fan. Because like I said, there's Easter eggs galore. And sure, there are plenty of things I could nitpick. The acting wasn't always the best. Jim Carrey absolutely nailed the role. He was great as Dr. Robotnik. Some of the jokes are a little corny. But at the end of the day, this movie was designed for kids. And what do kids do these days anyways? You know what they do? They floss. Kids love flossing. And if you go see the movie, you'll understand why that's important. With the trailers that we saw, it felt to me that before actually seeing the movie, it felt like Sonic was a little out of place in the world, in the cityscape. The Sonic just didn't really fit in as well. I wasn't sure if it was the CG or if it was just Sonic. But then when I was watching the movie, I never really had any thoughts about that at all. Oh, Navi's going away. I never was really pulled out of the movie. There was one part that sort of pulled me out of the experience, but it didn't have to do with CG at all. I was also a little worried about the actor who played Sonic, Ben Schwartz, who played like John Ralphio in Parks and Rec, and I guess that's really all I know of him as. Sonic has had so many voice actors over the years, and some are better than others, but I really think Ben Schwartz nailed it. Absolutely. And I've seen some interviews with him now. Patrick Gill over at Polygon actually did an amazing interview with him. So if you get the chance, I highly recommend going and checking that out. Even if you haven't seen the film yet, I watched it last night and it got me super hyped to go see it. You just get to see how great of a guy Ben Schwartz is. And I shouldn't say that because I don't know him in person, but Ben Schwartz seems like he's also a huge Sonic fan, and that's important. That probably helped him nail the role even better. But I cannot stress this enough. If you are interested in this movie, if you grew up playing Sonic games, if you have a kid who likes Sonic, go see this movie in theaters now while you can. Being one of the first people to see it, by not having things spoiled for you on the internet, all these different Easter eggs, seeing it in person first, I think is an important thing. And I really want this movie to do well so that way they can make a second one. I loved it. It was so magical, and I think it's just, there's something to be said about being able to see Sonic on the big screen. Like, he's made it. So I saw Detective Pikachu in theaters as well, and I was definitely a Sonic fan before Pokemon just because of the time frame that it came out. But I don't think Detective Pikachu enthralled me as much as Sonic did. And maybe it's because we've had Pokemon movies in theaters before. There's so much more Pokemon media out there. I might feel sort of spoiled by Pokemon just because we get so much. And I think that's part of the reason why it was so special for me as well. And like I said, I could nitpick this movie for tons of reasons, but I think with a movie like this, it's better to just be excited about the cool parts instead of complain about what could have been or what should have been instead. I'm just happy that it happened and that it wasn't the monstrosity that it could have been. And no offense to the art team that made the original Sonic design, you did what you were told. So now we're gonna start talking about a few spoilers. If you have not seen this movie and you plan to see it this weekend or next weekend or at some point within the month or whatever, just stop watching this video now. I greatly appreciate if you hear me out, so that way, you know, our view count is better for this, our viewer retention is better for this video, but come back and watch this after you've seen it. So if you haven't seen it, stop watching now. This is your last warning. Spoilers are starting now. So at the beginning of the film, first off, they started off the film with the Sonic Mania theme, I believe it was, which is, oh, it's so magical. It gets you so hyped, and they're in like the traditional Green Hill Zone area as well. And we see Sonic is being chased by these kind of like these masked enemies, and I think they have bow and arrows, and they kind of run around like super quick. And then you realize that they're echidnas, and they look a lot like the echidnas from like the original Archie comic book, or even the ones found in like Sonic Adventure. It's nuts. I couldn't believe that they kicked off the movie with that. I was under the impression that the majority of the film was just going to take place in the city, which it does, but just to kick off the movie with seeing echidnas right away, that was great. I had expectations that we were maybe going to see like Tails, but I didn't think that we would see anything close to Knuckles. And then this might have even been before this, but Sonic's running down the street at one point in San Francisco, and it slows down and you can see a street sign in the background, and it says Mega like Street or something, which is like calling back to the Mega Drive, which is the Sega Genesis in Europe. And actually, I don't think it would be in a city, but maybe it was Mega Drive, like drive like is in like lane or street or whatever. That's so great. That's so great. A few other things that I didn't like with the movie that cover more spoilers. The movie was just fairly sad at points. The music would come down and Sonic would just get all sad about like not having friends in front of his pal, which I don't even remember his friend's name, the human character. I don't remember any of their names. I just remember obviously Dr. Robotnik, or as his dentist calls him, Rob. Zach and I were talking about it on the drive home, and he thought that the power of friendship message was a little too strong within the movie, which I very much agree with. But once again, I guess, you know, it is a kids movie, so they had to have some like good message at the end of the day, you know, just to try to click with kids' brains. But that got to be a little cheesy at times, and I'm not happy about it either. But Sonic literally flosses twice. There's 2 instances in the film, and so I'm curious, was that added before the revision or after? When did that come around? And I don't think I'm mad about it. I just can't believe they did it. I can't believe they put it in there. It makes sense because kids. So I was having a peek in my Sonic Look and Find book, my good old I Spy sort of Sonic book, and I came across this image right here. So if anyone's mad about the flossing, I'm gonna have to ask you to explain that. Also, if you watched the movie and you didn't wait for the end credit scenes, you are a fool. And we saw people leave the movie, and boy, you messed up, because I'm not even gonna say it. All I'm gonna say is this. And if you left the theater before seeing that, you're gonna be filled with regret. You go back. You go back and see it again, because they need to make a sequel. They have to at this point. They've got you. It's like the Power Ranger film all over again. They threw in a little scene at the end of the movie just to get you so excited, just to make you want them to make another film. And I want them to make another film for this reason here. But I also want them to make another because I feel like it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and like I said, it made me feel excited. It pulled me back into the times of playing on my original Genesis with Sonic Spinball, or playing Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast with my family. I could not wipe the smile off my face if I tried. I loved it. But of course, that is just one good old Sonic fan's opinion. So if you made it this far into the video, that means that you must have seen the video, or you're being bad and you're letting things get spoiled to you. So feel free to let us know in the comments down below if you went and saw this movie, or if you're skipping it for some reason or another. Just let us know all your thoughts in the comments down below in relation to the Sonic movie. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you go ahead and spin dash into that subscribe button, and be sure to ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we release new videos. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm ZN from Nintendo Life, and I really appreciate you hearing me out about this new Sonic film. I I loved it. And if you're a Sonic fan, I think you will too. We'll see you next time. This boy right here